Hey everyone, this is Michael with the general reading for Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of January 2020. Hello and welcome, whether you're watching this video for yourself or cross-watching for another individual with Gemini placements. I do want to thank all of you who have supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It's because of all of you I'm able to continue sharing these messages and putting these readings out on YouTube. So thank you all so much for all of your support. I actually had quite a bit of people who have turned up as clients for after the recent holiday sale that I had. I also had a holiday giveaway, which was won by Jesse and Kimber, so congratulations to them for winning a free personal reading. If you don't want to miss out on any specials or sales or anything I'm offering in the future, definitely be sure to hit subscribe, and also be sure to follow me on my other social media where I'm always posting my announcements. I post them on all of my accounts to make sure that everyone can see them. So check the description box down below for all of the links for those accounts, as well as links for personal readings, Reiki sessions, and donations for those of you who feel so called. I am just going to apologize in advance if my energy seems a little bit low. I am conserving my energy right now because, as I mentioned previously, I am still getting to the personal readings. I am still working through those. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, I do apologize. Thank you so much for your patience and understanding with me. It's just been a really crazy month with the holidays and with all the readings I've been doing. I'm honestly a bit depleted myself, so don't be surprised if I actually do take down my readings or Reiki sessions for a couple of days, maybe even a week or so. I'm just going to be giving myself some time to restore my energy. I don't like to do this work if I'm feeling like I'm running on low, and that's also why I've been taking my time getting through the personal readings and getting through some of the general readings as well, because I do feel like it's important for me to be able to stay connected. But I am conserving my energy. It's not personal, Gemini. It's nothing against you. I just want to make sure that I'm able to give the energy to my clients that they also deserve as well. So let me see. Before we actually go into the reading, I do like to start off with a brief astrological report. I recognize that not everyone is interested in that, so I will invite someone in the comment section down below to leave a timestamp that jumps ahead straight to the actual reading. Although I always feel like the astrology and the cards work very synergistically together. They often complement one another, kind of fill in the gaps. It's also a good way of figuring out what might be happening when for you as we're going through this reading. I do have an astrological forecast blog in the description box down below, which could be helpful, as well as a natal chart calculator if you don't have your personal natal chart handy. This can actually be really helpful because I am going to be talking about specific aspects and degrees of different transits that are going to be occurring. So it's really useful to be able to actually look at your own natal chart and see how all of these astrological movements are going to be impacting your life personally, because of course this is a general reading. I'm going to be speaking very generally for the Gemini collective at large here. So with the month of January, I do feel like there are some tests, there are some lessons, there are some hardships that are going on, and I don't want people to freak out. I feel like people already know what they are. I know 2019 was an intense year for a lot of people, and I almost think a good way to think of January is like, this is the final exam. We've been learning the lessons all last year that we are going to need for this month, as well as the rest of 2020, to be honest with you. But I think there is a lot of closing out that is going to be happening, a lot of clearing, especially with the lunar eclipse that is going to be happening on January 10th. In the 20th degree of Cancer. So again, never hurts to look at your own natal chart to see where that falls, what house that's in for you personally, and what planets might be there as well, or kind of aspecting that placement or that transit. It can always be really interesting to see. I do feel like for you, Gemini, with Cancer being your second house in general, this does speak a lot about value. This speaks a lot about money. It speaks a lot about stability. And there is going to be sort of a culmination, an ending, some loss as well, perhaps for some of you. I don't want to freak you out, but full moons are typically associated with the end of a lunar cycle. And when you have an eclipse like we have, it's basically amplifying that moon. So on a solar eclipse, we have a very powerful new moon, which we actually had on the 26th of December. So we already started off with this big boost in energy. Now, with the full moon, which is associated with endings and culminations, you know, kind of reaping what you have sown, there is a lot of ending, a lot of closing out. And with this showing up in your second house, things might become a little unstable. This very well could take a material form, but I also look at the houses from a non-physical perspective. When I'm looking through someone's astrology chart, when I'm looking at the stars, when I'm looking at what is happening throughout the day even. The second house also pertains to what we value, what we care about. There may actually be changes that are happening, that are shifting for you. And I actually feel like there's been a lot of really intense loss and transformation that you have been going through, Gemini, for the past year, because we have had Pluto and Saturn hanging out in Capricorn, which is your 8th house, your house of, you know, mystery, losses, death, rebirth, also very deep connections, as well as joint finances and even inheritance. It's almost like you're really being pushed into finding your own power. And I think you're kind of being asked to let go of certain things this month that are preventing you from claiming that. What are you using as a distraction? What are you using as kind of a way to fill a void? And maybe letting go of things that may feel familiar, but aren't really serving you anymore. This could also be relationships. It could also be people for some of you. And with Cancer, with this full moon in Cancer, this is really interesting because Cancer does rule over the moon. And when you have the moon, when you have Cancer energy, this actually does speak about 4th house stuff, which is upbringing, childhood, our sense of home, family, belonging. And with this showing up in your 2nd house, this Cancerian energy, you may also be healing patterns that you learned from childhood. Maybe there could be some hoarding situations for some of you that you're dealing with and kind of letting some things go. Maybe you're just holding on to some beliefs that it's time to kind of open your mind a little bit, open your heart to something new, because I do feel like there is something powerful that's been transforming for you in the past year. And a lot of people have been resisting it, or a lot of people just have been, even if you're pouring your energy into it, they just haven't been seeing progress. That's kind of what Saturn and Pluto both do, especially together. Saturn is very much restrictive, withholding energy, and even though it's considered a malefic planet traditionally, I wouldn't want to call a planet inherently bad, because Saturn does have the benefit of making you ready for the thing you really want. It makes you earn wherever it falls, and it's all about discipline. It's all about achievement. It's almost like if you want a puppy, you're going to have to show that you're responsible. You're going to have to show that you're going to wake up and take care of the dog and know that it's not just this cute little puppy forever. There are responsibilities that come with it. There is this long-term investment as well. So it's like Saturn is almost setting you up for success in a way, because it wants to make sure that you are going forward with everything lined up, making sure that you are ready for whatever it is that you're working on, whatever sort of power you're trying to come into. If this is involving some sort of inheritance for some of you, it very well could be, or joint finances. There might be some lessons there as well. But it's also just a house of mystery, a house of death, of rebirth. So there's a lot of spiritual things that have been going on for you, Gemini. And I don't think that this year has been particularly easy for anybody, but 8th house stuff is always pretty challenging in its own right as well. And with the conjunction that is happening actually between 4 planets on the 12th, 2 days after this eclipse, we have a conjunction with Saturn and Pluto. So again, this kind of final exam. Have you been doing what you've needed to do? Are you going to see this payout? Have you earned this thing or not? There's also this conjunction with the Sun and Mercury, which is going to affect our lives and our plans. Looking looking into the future and the way that we think about our lives relative to these things we have been learning about. We do also have Ceres, which is conjuncting as well. It's a minor asteroid associated with harvest and agriculture as well as health. But I also do feel like it is adding that long-term sort of perspective, because with the harvest, you do have to think ahead. You do have to plan ahead. What am I planting my seeds in? What is going to grow? What is going to be fruitful for me? There's going to be a lot of thinking about the future and really seeing what is actually going to pan out, or what might not be ready yet, what might be something you actually have to let go of as well. That's kind of the Pluto energy. It's Hades, god of the underworld. And we are tested by that energy in very profound ways. But again, it is about rising to our own power. And if you do that, if you pass the test of Pluto, you will actually get more than what you had originally. But it will strip you down. It will take away everything from you. And we all have Pluto transiting somewhere in our transit charts. So I don't want you to all freak out and be like, am I being targeted? We've all just been going through a lot of intense energy, and that's also because Saturn and Pluto are hanging out in the same sign. After this conjunction, I don't believe we will have this transit again, this conjunction again, until I believe 32 years from now. So it's a pretty big cycle. Really, really interesting and powerful stuff. But again, this feels like the final exam. It's kind of like review. You've been being prepared for this test, for this lesson, for this month, whatever it is that's coming in. And with this eclipse, it is also, because the energy is amplified, it does actually extend out several months. I often hear 6 months, which does seem to be true. So maybe there's a lot of transformation that's going on for the next 6 months relative to you sort of letting go of things and shedding and embracing the new, becoming reborn, stepping into your power, and finding out what's actually important. And then finally, we do have a new moon in Aquarius. This month isn't all heavy after all. And this new moon is actually a really great time to manifest miracles, to set really big intentions. And for you, Gemini, this is your 9th house. So this is a really good time to broaden your horizons, to open yourself up to new ideas, maybe even do some travel, or set some intentions to go to some exotic locations, or learn some new things spiritually, take a class, something about broadening your horizons. It would be a very good time for you to manifest something around these themes. And it is also just, with this Aquarian energy, it's a very auspicious and benevolent energy, because Aquarius is associated with the 11th house, which is support, usually through friends or social networks. But on the spiritual level, again, touching on the spiritual aspect of the chart, the 11th house does actually pertain to the way the universe supports us, which very often it is like we run into someone who has this connection and offers it to us, and our lives suddenly change for the better. That's kind of the energy I'm talking about. You can manifest very powerful synchronicities for this new moon. So make something big and really kind of test it. See if it comes true. I feel like we've had a lot of powerful new moon energy, because the last one we had that eclipse, as well as the conjunction with Jupiter on the 26th. So there was a lot of expansive energy there. And now we have another opportunity again to manifest something really, really big. And keep working with that and letting things go on that full moon cycle, whatever it is that's holding you back. That's kind of the lunar cycles in general. And I think that's pretty much everything for the astrology report. I do want to get to the cards for you, Gemini. I am very curious to see what we have for all of you for the month of January. As I am shuffling here, I'm also just going to give my general spiel that this is a general message, meaning not all of the messages that come through are going to be meant for you specifically. Some of the messages may also come in the reverse, so if there are other parties involved, the roles can be switched. I always set the intention for these readings to reach the most people who actually need to hear them. So if I don't pick up on your energy, nothing went wrong. You are more than welcome to check out some of the other readings as well for your moon, rising, or Venus sign for the month of January. If you don't know what those are, I have the natal chart calculator again in the description box down below. That should be able to help you figure that out. And I do also have Heart of the Matter love readings on my channel, which are my love and relationship readings. If you're looking for advice specifically about relational stuff, romance, you're welcome to look at either the most recent video or look through the previous months, because those are actually timeless videos. And let's see, is there anything else? Not really. This is just a general message, so take things as they apply. Again, you're free to switch the roles, switch up the characters here for whatever fits. If you are cross-watching, there is a good chance that you are actually showing up as this other person in this reading as well. So just something to keep in mind. What is going on for Gemini for the first part of January, and also just what you've been going through in general. Kind of reviewing the energy here. Show me clearly. What are the messages for Gemini? Oops. That's too many. Just one more message, please. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles, the Empress card in the reverse, the Hermit that actually comes out with the Knight of Swords in the reverse. So a lot of earth and air energy right away, and I feel like this is very relevant to the astrology report I was just talking about, because we do have this Empress card in the reverse showing up in your heart, your emotions, this feeling of being taken out of your comfort zone, maybe letting go of things that you held on to that made you feel abundant. There is kind of this feeling of, even though there's this internal feeling of instability or perhaps loss, I do feel like you are working with the people around you right now with this Three of Pentacles. It is time to collaborate. It is time for you to work together on something, especially in your day-to-day life. Maybe this feels like a work situation for some of you. And there could be some support here as well. Some of you could be dealing with a Virgo. I also see Taurus or Libran energy with the Empress. Maybe even another air sign. Could be another Gemini or Libra or Aquarius again. This Knight of Swords could also be your own energy showing up. And it's interesting because someone wants to work together, someone around you, maybe it is you, but then this other party, there's this Hermit energy. This withdrawing. And this could actually have to do with a work situation. Maybe someone is just feeling very overworked or focusing on themselves right now, and you're kind of being asked to do the same. With this Knight of Swords energy in the reverse, coming out with the Hermit, this is very interesting. I feel like there's not a lot of communication that's going on. Even though there is this collaboration that's supposed to be happening, it does feel like there's also a need for you to kind of retreat, to recharge. And again, this energy can be switched. It feels like it's a little bit of both, actually. You're kind of dealing with a situation with somebody else, and you're supposed to retreat from this Three of Pentacles energy, and the person you're dealing with is being a bit introverted as well. They're being a bit of a hermit right now. But I do feel like with this Empress energy in the reverse, if you are going through some sort of financial loss, or instability or transition right now, really feeling out of your comfort zone. Things just don't feel like they're going very well. I do feel like with this Three of Pentacles, things are working out. This is kind of coming as a sign of assurance for me. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort and some work. But I do feel like this Empress energy is being brought back into balance here. And again, this could be your own life or for someone else around you. But I do see that there's a lot less talk happening right now. And maybe it's more just kind of observing things. Let's see. And I'm also noticing the Justice card at the bottom of the deck here again. So some Libra energy again popping up here. Maybe this is regarding a legal situation for some of you. That actually makes a lot of sense with the 8th house. Maybe there is some sort of financial restitution that you're waiting on, and it doesn't seem like it's coming. Maybe something is going very slowly. You're not hearing anything about it. I do feel like that is in the works, though. We're going to pull some cards to see where all of this energy is going in just a moment, but I want to pull an animal card for how we can deal with this energy right now. Yeah, this is feeling like a very practical reading so far. It's all air and it's all earth energy. Okay, Deer. This tells me that something is going to be sorted out in the spring. Because Deer is very much associated with the end of winter, the new spring energy, a new beginning. There is this new beginning that is in the works, and it's something that's happening. It's very delicate. It's a little precarious right now, so it is important for you to approach the situation with utmost gentleness and care. But I do actually feel like there is a lot of new growth that is happening for you, Gemini. And it's almost like you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to kind of detach from the things that have kept you in the situation you've been in, and you have to really put in the work. But I do see that something is going to be paying off here. And I also feel like it's important for you to connect with nature with this Deer card energy as well. Maybe that's connecting with animals or even children, young people who are very connected to the natural world as well. That can be very, very healing for you, especially with this Empress card. She is ordinarily very much in tune with the natural world, but with it showing up in the reverse, I am feeling like there is kind of this sense of disconnection, and maybe the grounding that you need is actually the grounding of the planet. So really working with Gaia, really working with the nature realm here. Again, a lot of earth. Some of you may also, this is obviously not going to apply to all of you. If you're trying to have a child, you may be getting pregnant in the spring, because I am seeing some issues with fertility perhaps for some of you with this Empress card in the reverse. And if that's the case, spring is going to be a very fruitful time for you. So let's see. And that doesn't even need to be like a physical pregnancy. It could also be an idea or something that you've been working on. Something is emerging. Something is coming forward this spring. And it's kind of like a hibernation time right now with the Hermit energy. So show me clearly, what are the messages for Gemini for the second half of January and beyond? Where's all of this going? Some of you are also feeling very single. I am picking up on that with the Hermit and the Empress in the reverse. It feels like there's no one around you. And I think there actually are, but with the Three of Pentacles, it's like there's something else you're supposed to be focused on right now. And it's okay if things aren't happening at a very fast rate. I know Gemini does tend to like quick results, especially being indicated as this Knight of Swords here. We're looking more out of a Knight of Pentacles perspective. Slow, steady progress. Anyways, what are the messages for Gemini for the second half of January? Show me clearly. No. Okay. Let's try again. I just had a bunch of cards fall out. Didn't seem like the right pile, so we'll try again. What are the messages for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for January 2020? What are the messages Gemini needs to hear? What do they need to be aware of? Okay, pull from the top of the deck. Okay, we have a Justice card coming out again, but this time in the reverse. We also have the Six of Wands and the Chariot. I'm noticing this Five of Wands in the reverse at the bottom of the deck too. If something doesn't feel fair, Gemini, if there's some sort of situation where you're putting in all the work and no one else is really doing anything, I almost get the sense that it's not even going to matter, because I see a lot of positive energy, actually. I see the Six of Wands returning victorious from battle. There is this really good feeling like you have had your victory here. You've gotten what it is that you've wanted. And with this Chariot energy, you are moving forward. Maybe someone... I almost wonder if this is talking about a situation from the past that wasn't just. There is actually something coming back that kind of gives you this restitution, because we did have this sort of energy earlier. There was something about springtime, but that might not come right away. It might actually seem like you lost something. You didn't win the battle, but emotionally you still feel like you did. And maybe that's because something is going to happen in the future here, or something from the past is going to come back and kind of bite the other party in the ass, is the sense I'm getting. I do want to clarify this Justice card here. Why is Justice in the reverse here? Show me clearly. This could definitely be about a divorce. I have the Lovers with the Three of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, a situation that didn't work out in the past where you were really committed does feel like marriage, actually, for a lot of you, or some sort of relationship where there were joint assets. It might feel like on some level you were slighted by this person, but for some reason, Gemini, you won. You actually won. It doesn't look like that. Maybe this person feels like they won, that they got what they wanted. But you're actually the victorious one here. I do wonder if there is actually a return to this conflict as well, because the Chariot can sometimes speak of a conflict, of going into war, going into a battle. There's definitely a lot of battle energy here, but I think you actually are winning. And I am seeing this Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. There might be some new love coming in for some of you. And this Lover's card actually is your energy as well. Even though there's a bit of heartache, this does feel like the past. Maybe some betrayal. Maybe you feel betrayed by someone, whether that's a romantic partner or a work situation or a business partner. But I'm actually picking up for more of a group than I would expect to be here. It's like this is talking about a divorce. This is talking about an ex relationship, which is very interesting. And things might not have gone the way you wanted. And this actually makes so much sense. Oh my gosh, please look at the astrology report if you didn't do that before. Because I was talking about how you're sort of being forced to let go of things, material things, to really step into your power. And I totally see that here. Even if there was some sort of material loss, you didn't win something, you didn't get the thing that you wanted, you got something better, or you're getting something better. Really interesting. What is this? What is this Six of Wands? What are we celebrating here? It's almost like you realize that you don't need those things anymore. You didn't need this thing, this outcome that you thought you wanted to be happy. You actually needed to get out of a situation that you were in, and it does feel romantic for a lot of you, I'm not gonna lie. And it's like once you have your own life back, once you're living for yourself, you kind of realize you don't actually need the things you thought you needed. They were coping mechanisms. They were ways for you to heal. Yeah, this artist energy, it's like you're envisioning what could be. You have all of this possibility. And this could be referring to returning to your own creative spirit as well. And I'm getting the sense something with, this could actually be like right at the end of spring to the start of summer with this Chariot energy. Because this is Cancerian energy, which is the beginning of summer. So right as we're turning into May, June, or yeah, May or June, right? No, it's June. I'm thinking like the month of June. It feels like there's something that's being reclaimed here. And you are victorious in the ways that really matter. Really interesting. I'm curious to see what the animal wisdom is here. I feel like some of you, there is a new love opportunity, or maybe there is a new work situation, something that actually feels better. And you didn't even think this was possible before. You wouldn't have even allowed yourself to imagine something like this. So this is actually really beautiful. And the Camel card comes out to you as your animal wisdom. And this is all about going within. As Camel is traversing the harsh terrain of the desert, it does have this store of water within itself. It knows there is this oasis out there, and it will search faithfully and hopefully for this. And we see this calm, content look on the Camel's face. I do really feel like Camel is a good spirit animal for you to call on. If you feel like you're having kind of a dry spell for some of you, or just like you're going through a really hard situation that doesn't feel like it's ever going to end. I do feel like there are a lot of spiritual lessons that are coming up with this camel energy. Some of you may actually be going on some sort of trip, or maybe returning to some place. Maybe this is that return with the Six of Wands that brings you back to this aligned state, that brings you this victory, that brings you the joy. So there is a spiritual awakening that's going on right now for sure. Are there any other messages? I actually am feeling like I should pull a color healing card for all of you as well. And I'm just going to read this straight from the book. This is The Secret Language of Color Cards Oracle by Segal. I have all of my tarot decks that I use in the description box as well if you want to look for those. I have been using these color cards almost like color therapy exercises. I'll make a picture using the color of the card, and I'll write affirmations based off of the message, but you are more than welcome to use these energies in whatever way feels right for you. I will also read from the book, again, just to kind of provide a guided exercise for you to do, and it's really up to you if that's how you want to use this color healing card, or if there's something else that comes in, although there is this artist card, so maybe you should actually create a scene here like I do with these cards. So what are the messages for Gemini? Show me clearly. What is the healing color to Gemini at this time? Okay, so Amber, awaken your creativity is the first one. And Mauve, enjoy clear hearing. Interesting. So I do wonder if there is something that you aren't hearing. Something, really listen closely to what people are saying right now. Especially in the situation you're in. Someone's not being very communicative, and they're kind of saying something. They might even be saying it repeatedly. And it's like there's something about the way that they're saying something. It actually is telling you more than you're realizing. That's a really specific message. I'm not really getting much more than that right now, to be honest with you. So kind of read between the lines with this card. You might not be hearing something because you also have a certain idea of what has to be, what the outcomes are, one way or the other. There might be something else. There's definitely something I feel like you didn't imagine before that feels really good that's coming in. So really listen to the different possibilities. And this Amber card, of course, awaken your creativity. We were just talking about that. I was feeling like this is the return of your creativity, and maybe this is helping you get into a flow state as well, which brings your spirit back into your body. It really allows you to be a vessel for your higher self. So amber is a fantastic color for increasing creativity and strengthening your manifestation abilities. It generates deeper bonds in relationships and teaches you how to give and receive affection. Warmth, optimism, courage, and spontaneity are among Amber's gifts. Wear amber to awaken your creative talent and abilities. So the exercise we have is hold a piece of amber or wear an amber pendant to remind you of your fun, creative, uninhibited self. Think of 5 adventurous things you would love to do. Pick the one that appeals to you the most and do it today. This could be singing, dancing, painting, writing, or creating. Give yourself permission to be playful, childlike, and joyous. Say infinite intelligence, awaken my creative talents and abilities, freeing me to participate in amazing and fun experiences. Maybe getting out of this hermit energy a little bit, having fun, branching out. This is perfect that this came in. That's so funny. Okay, so what is the other card? We have Mauve. So Mauve, a pale lavender lilac color, connects intuition, awakening your inspiration, expanding your spiritual awareness, and helping you to let go of heavy, dense energies. Mauve also creates a sense of peace and tranquility to assist with eye and ear problems and improve your memory and ability to concentrate. It is a color of softness, gentleness, and allowance. Use mauve rays to release stuckness from your ears. Focus your attention on the ears. Do they feel clear or blocked? Ask yourself, is there anything I don't want to hear? Your ears are intelligent and may try to block out information you are avoiding. The next time you are around someone who is saying something hurtful or upsetting to you, imagine mauve rays moving through your left ear to push anything dense or unclear out through your right ear and into a fire that dissipates that negativity. Do the same thing with your right ear, then surround yourself with loving and encouraging people. Say, Divine Intelligence, please allow me to listen to and apply my divine wisdom. Beautiful. All right, Gemini, I do hope that these messages were helpful. I would love to hear what's going on for you in the comment section down below, and be sure to support each other as well. Make sure to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. And before I go, I again have the links for personal readings and Reiki sessions in the description box down below. I may be taking those down for a little while just to recharge, but those will be back up shortly if I do decide to do that, and I'll let you all know. All right, Gemini, happy January 2020. I hope this is a great month for you. Take care.